friends. So today we're going to look at my PoshMark closet and what has sold so far in January. And the interesting thing I have found is that I've actually sold more items on PoshMark as a beginner than I have on eBay, which is really surprising to me. I thought for sure eBay's audience and the fact that I'm creating my titles and descriptions to fit more of the eBay algorithm, that I would think that I would have more sold items on eBay, but it hasn't been the case. I've sold more on PoshMark. So we are going to take a look of what has sold on PoshMark. And the wild part about it is, even though I've thrifted quite a bit over the past few months, a lot of the items that have sold were actually from my closet. Not to be confused with the fact that PoshMark calls everything that you're selling your closet, but the items that I have been selling were items that I listed in November and December from my personal closet that I've been trying to get rid of. And I'm not really a brand snob, so I really had to work on keywords and style tags that would help these items sell. I feel like the stuff that I'm picking up now at the thrift store and at the Goodwill bins and at auctions, estate sales, and things like that are actually better quality items and better branded items than things that I had in my closet that I wanted to get rid of. So let's get started. All right, we are going to go over my PoshMark sales today. So first up is something that sold this morning, and it's probably been listed a couple weeks. It is this beautiful Bowden teal velvet blazer. It is absolutely gorgeous. If it was my size, I would have kept it, but it is dry clean only. And I did find this actually at the bins, so I probably paid maybe $3. It is a little bit heavier of a piece, but I made pretty good money on this one. I took an offer. I had it listed for $70 and I took an offer for $60. So here it shares my earnings are $46.50. Not too bad. All right. Next is something I had in my closet. This was something I had purchased and then actually never liked the way it looked on me. So sorry, I got to scroll through those ads every time. But this is just like a beautiful kimono. It is a size large, extra large, but you can definitely layer it on top of anything. But it certainly was nothing special, but it was something that I wasn't wearing at all. And Massimo is a Target brand, but I was able to use the keywords like boho, and I use long line, flowy silhouette, and things like that to help get it sold. And so that was probably listed about 1 month, and it sold for $17. And it says here my earnings were $12.10. So not a huge amount of money, but again, it was something in my closet I wasn't wearing. Here's another something that was in my closet that I was not wearing, and it was new with tags. So I really was not wearing it. And actually, I think I had picked it up at a TJ Maxx and just never wore it. But it is a beautiful white, crisp button-up shirt. And actually, I don't feel like these pictures did it any sort of justice because it is just a very classy piece. And I can tell this was one where I was still learning to take pictures because my lighting isn't very good, but it doesn't matter. The item sold, and let's see, it sold for $21. That was my full asking price. And so $16.80 is how much I got to keep off of that sale. This one I had listed maybe even 2 months, and I do think I had to lower the price on them. And these were also from my closet and definitely had some wear. I had worn them a few times and I didn't like clean them out really well, but they are a great brand with Michael Kors. And they just were kind of uncomfortable. It was one of those things where they looked like they would be so comfortable, and for me, they were not. So I was happy to get these out of my closet, and they sold for, I believe the full asking price, $29, which I believe I had them originally listed at $39. And probably once I lowered the price, they sold within a week. And so I made $21 off of those. Not too bad. All right, next up, this was one I wouldn't have been sad to keep for myself, but this is a Vince brand. This is a mixture of wool, silk, and cashmere. Can't get much better than that. And it was a medium turtleneck sweater. And I think this one I did end up hand washing in cold water and laying flat to dry and all of that, because I believe, find this one at the bins. Well, now I can't remember. I might have gotten this one at the thrift store. But either way, this one sold probably within a month, and it sold on an offer from the buyer for $50. And I think I originally had it listed maybe for $60. So maybe not, maybe I got full price. I'm gonna have to learn what these mean. I use Nifty to list and cross list these items, so I'm not sure if this price is the price that it sold for, or the price I had it listed for. But either way, I'm thrilled that it sold, and my earnings on it were $40, and I definitely did not pay more than $7 for it, even if I got it at the thrift store. All right, next we have something that I did pick up at the bins, and this is just a real basic Athleta top, and it was in great condition. I did wash it, but it was a size large, which is a good size, and just a white and black striped classic shirt. And this took about 5 weeks, I think, to sell, and it looks like it sold for my full asking price of $20, and my earnings on it were $16. And again, I found that at the bins. It was very lightweight, so it probably cost me $1 to $2. We've got a lot of stuff that was from my closet. Next, we have this dress that I have been carrying around with me and never worn, and I probably bought it 25 years ago. Yep, 25 years ago from Express, and never wore it. The tags have been gone, but I cannot even tell you how many times I have moved this because I just think it's a beautiful dress. But it is something I never wore, so it was finally time to give it a new home and a new closet. You can see I was first learning to take pictures here, so this was probably listed for about 2 months before it sold. But it is a very pretty blue, and I do think this sold on offer from a buyer. I can't remember now, but let's see, $27. I feel like maybe I had it listed for $30, but maybe I only had it listed for $27. I can't remember. But anyway, my earnings were $21.60, and that had been in my closet forever. So I hope the person that purchased it really enjoys it and actually wears it, unlike me hauling it around for 25 years. This was another item from my actual closet, and this was a sweater I maybe had only worn once or twice, but it is that really nice, just kind of larger cheetah print. It could layer with almost anything, and I asked $19 for it, and I'm pretty sure I got my full asking price on this one. And so $15 I got to take home from that, which had already been in my closet. Okay, I'm breaking in right now just because clearly I'm new at all of this, new at the reselling, new at the YouTube, and so I just wanted to pop in real quick and ask if you wouldn't mind becoming a subscriber to the channel. I'm really trying to get to 500 subscribers so that we can monetize this YouTube channel and make it worthwhile to share all of the fun things that we're learning along the way. So thank you so much for taking the time to like, subscribe, comment, all of the things that will help more people see this video. Here we go, always learning a lesson. This is a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Reformation dress, all silk, that I got from the bins. Now, granted, it was so wrinkled and so crunched up in the bins, but I could not believe that somebody had donated this new with tags. I did use some of these pictures that I found online of the dress, which I did find out later that you're not allowed to use those pictures. So I won't be using those again. But I also found as seen on celebrities and things. Those are good to find and help it sell. So I had a lot of action. I had this cross-listed on multiple platforms and had a lot of inquiries, and I had taken a ton of pictures of this dress because it's a $200. I figured I could get about $200 for this dress because it was new with tags, and I was just so excited. All right, with all of these pictures that I took, I could not believe it, but see this here? I had somebody make an offer. Oh, I had it listed for $200. Somebody offered $125. I took the offer for $125. Well, then after, and I take such care when I'm shipping my items. I wrap them up, I make sure they look nice. I lint roll them if I notice more things on them. I just want my buyer to open it and just be thrilled with their purchase. And when I had listed this item, I had done no returns. I've since changed all of my items to be 30 days of returns, which I'm dreading that. I can't feel like something's really sold until 30 days have gone by, but this is really why. So this dress here, the person received it, and I get a notice that the buyer is filing a complaint saying that there is, on this lower button here, ink dot, a little pen dot on one of these buttons. And notice it comes with a free button here too, an additional button, but it was one of these buttons. And I can't tell which sleeve. That looks like it's the right arm sleeve. So I think it was the left arm sleeve that this little dot was on the button. And I couldn't believe it. I actually giggled. It's this button, right? I don't know if you can see where I'm circling right here. And I thought for sure that PoshMark people would just laugh at the person and be like, you've got to be kidding me. You can barely see that with your plain eye, right? And I couldn't find a picture of an up close of that button to prove them wrong, because my thought is I really, really think the buyer wanted to return the dress. And it's an expensive purchase and probably didn't want to try to resell it. And I think she put a little pen dot on there thinking it's okay. The seller has an extra button and she can replace it. I'm just going to say there's a little dot here and request to return it. And so I really did think that Poshmark was going to say, sorry, that's ridiculous. It's new with tags. And I steamed this dress for like an hour and a half. So I was all over this dress and never noticed any imperfection at all. But needless to say, Poshmark sided with the buyer and let her return it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to post a picture of what it looked like when the buyer returned it to me, all scrunched up. And I'm just so frustrated, but I'm going to have to relist this item nonetheless. I'm just still, again, really disappointed in that buyer saying there was a tiny little black dot on the button of this sleeve. So again, lesson learned. And now I'm going to have to steam it and make it look nice for my next buyer, but I'm going to have to relist it. So I learned a lesson there, and I have since changed all of my listings to be free returns. I do not want somebody purposely damaging an item in order to return it to me. And I will also say that I have 100% rating on all of the platforms that I have sold on, 100%, and feedback on how great I package things and all of that. And so for this person to send it back to me so scrunched up in the worst way, I just was so disappointed. All right, I need to get over it and relist the item. But you can see here it says order canceled. I'm just disgusted by it. Next, I've got a bundle, and both of these things were items from my closet. I'm kind of surprised that my guest jeans, I made this cute little thing in Canva. This was one of the very first things I listed. This is when you could tell I was brand new, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to take the time to make a graphic. And now I'm like, oh, that's not realistic to make a graphic every time you list an item. But I had taken these pictures. They're not even very good, but these are skinny jeans that I have not worn in years. But I did get them listed and got an offer for both the jeans, and also this is a beautiful dress that I just wore once. I had purchased this on Amazon, and I did wear it once to an event and just figured it was one of those events that you take a lot of pictures in. Look at how terrible my pictures are of that dress. Oh, you could tell I was a newbie there. At least these pictures show the color much better. But it was one of those things I felt like you only wear it once, and then because you have so many pictures in it, you don't want to wear it to another event. So I went ahead and sold it, and somebody bought a bundle. And that was even before I had special offers on bundles. So it looks like I made $31.91 on that particular bundle. All right. Next we have, this is from one of my kids' closets. Geez, a lot of stuff from my closets, but that's good. That means these were probably some of the first things I had listed before I had started thrifting and going to the bins and auctions and stuff like that. So these were some of the first things I was listing to see how they did. But this was a dry fit Nike soccer jersey, that shirt that my kid had worn. And I think I got an offer on this one for 20. I'm pretty sure I had it listed for about 25, but I took the offer and made $16 on that. All right. I think we're getting almost to the end of January here. So this top was listed for about a month. So this is a J. Jill, 100% cotton. And I don't think I'm going to pick up J. Jill anymore. I was just thinking because it was pure Jill and made in India and not China, and that it was 100% cotton, I figured that would be a good seller. And of course, this coloring was very popular in fall. And I bought this at an ARC thrift store for about $4. And I don't think I would pick this up again, but it was a good learning lesson, and I was thrilled that it did eventually sell. I believe I had it listed for $25, and I got an offer for 20 and took it, and so made about $12 after my cost of goods on this one. All right, let's do a couple more here. Not seeing the dates if these are, oh, maybe I should stop. I'll go ahead and do this one. Look, this one sold December 31st. So just do that. This was the last one of the year. This was something that was mom's. She had given it to me and thought my daughter would want to wear it, but it's a really cute sweater, and it kind of that lacy look to it, but it wasn't lace. It was a sweater, but you could wear it multiple ways. It kind of had like asymmetrical to it. And so you could wear it with the longer kind of either on the sides or in the front, however you wanted. And there was a lot of stretch to it, and it would go with a lot of things, but it was really cute, and my daughter never wore it, but it is vintage from my mom, and we were happy to see it go to somebody else's closet. So that skirt, I believe, sold for my full asking price of $21. So that was for January so far. The month isn't over yet, but wanted to get this video out, and hope you all enjoyed it. See you next time.